Okay, it's 6 o'clock. I'd like to welcome you to the Town of Fort Erie Community Justice meeting of April 22nd, 2021. Please note that this meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. I now call this meeting to order. First, I'd like to introduce you to the committee members and staff. So the committee members are the following. Kara H., she's our secretary treasurer, who will be recording minutes of tonight's meeting. And we have Mackenzie Cece. She's the meeting host who's doing the back end technical duties. Now, tonight's following members are the following. First is Chris Nutt. Second is Dave DiFrancesco, and I'm third. I'll be chairing tonight's meeting. To those members of the public who are maybe participating electronically in the public meeting portion of this meeting tonight, you may wish to put your view on gallery view by clicking the top right corner from speaker view. I'll ask that you are mindful of background noises for the duration of the meeting. Please also note that the participating members of the public will remain in the virtual meeting room via telephone or electronically until they're called upon during the public meeting. This is a statutory public meeting under the Planning Act for the purposes of considering both minor variance and consent applications. Members of the committee have been provided with all written comments received by agencies and the public prior to this meeting. Committee members are asked to mute their microphones until you're asked to speak. Please raise your hand if you'd like to speak and vote by raising your hand. The purpose of the meeting is to obtain input from residents relative to the application. Those participating online via Zoom will be asked to raise their virtual hand when they wish to speak. On a computer, you can do by clicking on participants in the bottom center of the screen and then by clicking raise hand. On a mobile device, you can tap more in the bottom right and then tapping raise hand. You'll then be brought into this meeting by staff. You can then unmute yourself and start your video by using the buttons on your screen. If you're participating by phone, you wish to raise your hand, press *9. And you will be unmuted by staff. Next, we'll hear from the applicant or agent, then from those in support or opposition to the application or to ask questions. We ask that each attendee keep their comments to under 10 minutes to allow all attendees the opportunity to speak. Applicants and attendees are advised they are free to leave the webinar once a decision was made on their application. Each application will be proceed in the following order. Number one, the Secretary Treasurer to summarize purpose and effect of the application, any comments received. Number two, applicant will be called to speak and make further comments if they have any. Three, the committee members will ask questions of the applicant. Four, the public will be asked to speak one at a time to state their full name and address for the record, any comments they may have towards the application. Five, the chair will close the application once comments have been heard. And six, the committee members will make a decision on the application, approved, refused, or deferred, and state any conditions applied. Please address your comments and questions directly through the chair. Each application will be heard in the order in which they appear on the agenda. The notice of decision will be made to all applicants stating the outcome of the hearing and any conditions of approval if required. Please note that correspondence and comments received this evening are restricted to matters of the Community Adjustment and the Planning Act. In considering each application this evening, the Committee of Adjustment will have due regard for the provisions of Section 45 and Section 53 of the Ontario Planning Act of 1990 as amended. A 20-day appeal period exists for each application heard this evening. Final appeal dates are noted on the note of the decision and are available by requesting a copy in writing. I'll begin by asking the committee members present to have any conflicts of interest in respect to the application we heard this evening. David?
No, I do not.
Chris?
No, I do not.
And I have none. I now ask the Secretary Treasurer notice this meeting was properly given in accordance with the provisions of the Ontario Planning Act.
Yes, it was. All applications were circulated to abutting properties within 60 meters of each application, and signs were posted on each property as per the regulations.
Okay, thank you. And have you received any requests with adjournment or respecting of any of tonight's applications?
No, we have not, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. I'll now proceed with our first application. So our first application tonight is consent file B1321. The address is 316 Westwood Avenue. The applicant is Brent Masur. The owner is Brent and Don Masur. So I'll ask Mackenzie to bring the applicant in.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. So Brent, are you ready to proceed with tonight's application?
I am.
Yeah, I'll ask Kara to read the correspondence. Once she's done reading the correspondence, you can make any comments if you'd like to, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
This consent application proposes the creation of a new lot which has frontage on Beech Ridge Avenue and is proposed for future residential development. The retained lot is municipally known as 316 Westwood Avenue and will continue its residential use. Zoning requires a minimum of 10 meters of lot frontage and 260 square meters of lot area. Both parts will maintain this. Creation of an infill residential lot in the urban area is supported by provincial, regional, and town planning policy and is considered good planning. Planning staff have no objection to this consent application based on the following conditions: 5% cash in lieu of parkland dedication, that the detached garage on part 2 is demolished, that the secretary treasurer receives a reference plan, and final consent fee of $177. Infrastructure have reviewed the report and have no objections. Conditional upon a $500 tree fee being paid to the town, and that the owner and applicant submit a lot grading plan on part 2 for review and approval. Building department has reviewed the application and requests that a demolition permit is obtained for the removal of the detached garage, and that it was removed to the satisfaction of the building department prior to final certificates being issued. No further comments or objections were received from staff, agencies, or the public. That concludes your application with the noted 6 conditions in the report.
Thanks, Kara. Do you have any comments or any questions of the file that Kara just read out? Right.
No questions. No, I understand.
Okay, thank you. Do the committee members have any questions, Chris
I don't have any questions.
and Dave? Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any.
The only question I have is, you have to demolish the what they asked you to do in the report, correct?
Yeah, the garage there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I have no other questions. Mackenzie, can you look in the virtual meeting room or the phone and see if anybody would like to comment on the application, please?
Sure, I can confirm that we only have the applicants in the waiting room at this time.
Okay. I'll ask that this file public to be closed and ask committee members to express their comments, and then we'll put the motion on the floor.
I'll go
Chris
first.
or Dave, it doesn't matter. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
I'll
sorry.
go first. I'll be in favor of this application tonight. It's supported by the town, region, and the province. It's a good application for an infill lot. I don't have any issue with it.
Thank you. Chris?
I'll be supporting the application tonight for the same reasons. I think it is good planning, does represent good planning. It is good use of infill land, and I have no objections at all, so I'll be fully supporting it.
Thank you. I'll be supporting the application based on what Dave and Chris has just said, and also it meets the lot zoning requirement in that area. So I'll be supporting the application. If someone wants to put the motion on the floor.
I'll put a motion forward that consent file number B13-21 be accepted with the conditions set forth in the staff reports.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, the motion is carried. You'll receive a written notice committee decision. The decision becomes final so long no appeals are received within the 20 days of this notice. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Thank you. Do I click myself out?
Yep. The second application
Oh,
tonight.
just 1 second, Sam.
Yep,
You can
sorry.
leave right in the bottom right-hand corner, Brett.
I think it just
There you go.
froze a little bit. We should be
Okay.
good now.
Okay, we're good. Thank you. The second case tonight, consent file B1421. The address is 1101 DiPietro Street. The applicant is Mark Spadafora. The owner is the Italian Canadian Club.
There we go.
There you are. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Good, how are you? Is Michael Sullivan on the call?
Nope.
Okay, anyway, it's fine, okay. He was supposed to be, it's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so Mark, are you ready to proceed with tonight's application?
Yes, I am.
All right, I'll ask Kara to read the correspondence. If you'd like to comment on the application after, we'll ask you then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Kara.
This consent application proposes the creation of a new lot. The applicant has indicated that in the future, they intend on applying for combined official plan and zoning bylaw amendment to permit residential development on Part 1. However, as the current official plan and zoning designations are commercial, this application must be reviewed against the amicable commercial policies and regulations. The retained lot is municipally known as 1101 Di Pietro Street and will continue its existing commercial use. The C2 115 zoning requires a minimum of 15 meters of lot frontage and 450 square meters of lot area. Part 1 and 2 meet both the lot frontage and lot area requirements of zoning. Creation of an infill lot in the urban area is supported by provincial, regional, and town planning policy and is considered good planning. Planning staff note that the applicant has accommodated a 4.5 meter setback from the northernmost building on Part 2 to the proposed boundary line with Part 1. This setback meets the required minimum setback from a residential zone required by the C2 zoning should Part 1 be rezoned to residential in the future. Planning staff have no objection to the consent application, subject to payment of 2% cash in lieu of parkland dedication, that a reference plan and the final consent fee are submitted. Infrastructure Services have read and reviewed the application and have no objections. Based on the following conditions, that the owner applicant pay $1,500 to the town for 3 trees to be planted in the boulevard, and that an overall lot grading plan on Part 1 is submitted prior to final consent. There are no further objections or comments received from any staff, agencies, or public. This concludes your report with the 5 conditions outlined.
Thanks, Kara. Mark, would you like to comment on the application, or are you satisfied what Kara's just read?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you. Do the committee members have any questions, Chris or Dave?
I do not.
I do not have any questions.
The only question I have, Mark, is there a buyer out there that's going to obtain these lands, or?
We're still debating if we're gonna build on them or sell them after.
And when you're building, you're talking about residential housing, or you're talking townhouse, or you guys haven't come to that?
No, they'll be single resident, like R3, single residential.
Okay, thank you.
If you can see, that's what it'll be like.
Okay. Thank you. Do the committee members have any other questions, or that's it?
That's all I had.
Okay.
I don't have any other questions.
Thank you. I'll ask Mackenzie if she wants to see if anybody in the public that would like to join virtually on YouTube or by phone by pressing *9. Can you check, please?
I'm still seeing, I think Mark Spatafora's father in the waiting room, and then the last applicant this evening. So unless you would like me to bring in your dad, Mark. So I'm seeing no one then.
Okay. I'll ask that this public file to be closed as committee members express their views.
I'll be in favor of this application tonight. It's good planning by the town and the region, and I have no issue with it.
I'll be supporting this application tonight. It looks like, from what he showed us, this will be good use of the infill lot. So I have no objection and will support the application.
Thank you. And I'll be supporting the application based on what my colleague said. It does meet the official plan of further urban development, and it does meet the lot rezoning requirement in that area. So, Dave, you want to put the motion on the floor again?
Yeah, I'll put a motion forward that consent file number B14-21 be accepted with the conditions set forth in the town planning department.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Sir, do you have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, the motion is carried, Mark. You'll receive a written notice of committee decision. The decision becomes final. So long, no appeals received within the 20 days of this notice. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you.
Okay, the last application tonight is minor variance A3521. The address is 3628 Thunder Bay Road. The applicant is Mountain View Homes. And is it gonna be Ken that's gonna be doing the presentation? Hi, Ken, how are you?
Good, thanks.
You're representing Mountain View Homes tonight?
Yes, I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Are you ready to proceed for the applicant on their behalf?
Absolutely. Yeah, we are the applicants.
Okay, all right then. Thank you. Mackenzie, would you like to read the correspondence, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
The purpose and effect of this application is to permit an increase to the maximum permitted lot coverage for a proposed two-story single detached dwelling with a covered unenclosed front porch. The Ontario Planning Act provides that a minor variance must meet the following four tests to be considered minor and supportable. Is the variance minor in nature? The proposal to increase the maximum lot coverage of the dwelling to 37% is minor. The proposed dwelling is part of a new plan of subdivision that is currently undergoing development, and a small increase in lot coverage will not negatively impact any existing residential uses on adjacent lands. The proposed dwelling size is fitting for the lot as there is sufficient space for parking in the front yard and amenity area in the rear yard. No massing impacts are anticipated as the proposed dwelling meets or exceeds all required setbacks of the R2358 zoning. Is the proposed variance considered desirable for the appropriate use and development of the land and buildings? The proposal to construct a single detached dwelling on the subject property is appropriate and desirable for the area. The proposed increase in lot coverage meets all other requirements of the zoning, and the subject property is part of a new plan of subdivision. This proposal is consistent with the design and nature of other parcels in the Crystal Ridge Landing subdivision. Does the proposal meet the general intent of the zoning bylaw? The general intent of the maximum lot coverage regulations in the zoning bylaw is to ensure new dwellings are adequately sized and that they do not overpower the lot or result in massing impacts on adjacent parcels. This proposal meets this intent. The increase in lot coverage to 37% will result in an adequately sized dwelling with sufficient space for servicing, amenity space, and parking. The small increase in lot coverage will not overpower the lot or result in massing impacts as the proposed dwelling meets all setback requirements of the zoning. And lastly, does the proposal meet the general intent of the secondary plan? The residential medium density land use designation is normally intended for multi-residential uses like townhouses and apartments. The subject property is part of the Crystal Ridge Landing subdivision, which was originally draft approved by council in 2006. The subdivision and its zoning predate the Ridgeway Thunder Bay secondary plan and were in conformity with the previous urban residential land use designation in the official plan at the time, which permitted a variety of residential uses, including single detached dwellings. Based on the above comments, planning staff support the requested variance. No comments were provided by staff agencies or members of the public, except for the town's drainage superintendent did note that the property is located inside the man drain watershed boundary. That concludes.
Thank you, Mackenzie. Ken, do you have any comments on the correspondence that Mackenzie just read?
No, sir. We agree with everything that was written off in the planning staff recommendations and reports.
Okay, thank you. Do the community members have any questions? Dave, no questions?
Yeah.
Chris, do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions at this time.
And I have no questions. Mackenzie, can you look at the virtual room to see if anybody wants to participate and make comments or via by telephone?
Sure, I can confirm that we have no one left in the waiting room at this time.
Okay, I'll ask this file to be closed, public file to be closed, and ask community members to express their views.
I'll be in favor of this tonight. It meets the four tests and I don't have any issue with it.
Thank you, Dave. Chris?
I'll be supporting the application. I'll be in favor of this. It meets the four tests. And what I would like to point out, one thing though, is that as part of the submission package, which I found really helpful, was that they included the individual lot grading. And I know this is inside the watershed. So I just want to say thank you for including that, because it kind of cleared up for me any questions that I would have had in regards to how you're going to capture the water and manage the water on this. So I found that document to be very helpful. So
Thank
but
you.
I'm gonna
That's okay. You're
still supporting it. I just wanted to thank Mr. Gnu for sending that in as well, because it really helped.
Okay, thank you. I'll be supporting the application based on it passes the test, the variance test, and I have no problems with the application. If somebody wants to put the motion on the floor.
Sure, I'll put the motion on the floor. The Committee of Adjustment considered the written and oral comments received with regards to this report and agrees the minor variant report analysis and recommendation meets the application and the 4 planning tests for this minor variance. And I move that we approve this application.
Okay, do I have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Okay, all in favor? Okay, the motion is carried. You receive written notice of the committee decision, and the decision becomes final so long no appeals are received within the 20 days of this notice. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Bye. Okay, next on the list is the adoption of minutes. May I ask for a motion from the committee to process the signing of the decisions concurred by the majority of members electronically?
I'll move that.
And Dave, you'll second that?
I'll second that.
Okay.
All in favor? All in favor?
Yeah, all in favor, yeah. And now I'll ask the other business, or part of the other business is the members from the past meetings. Has anybody looked at them? Is there any revisions, or if there's any corrections? Or they'll be standing approved?
I don't have any.
I don't have any either.
And I have none. So that'll be approved, that whatever, Carrie, you just drew up the last 3 past meetings will be final. So that's,
A motion to approve them then?
yeah, let's put a motion on the floor.
I'll put a motion forward to approve the past notices.
Yep.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Okay, the motion is carried. Is there any further business with dealing with the Committee of Adjustment? Anybody have any issues, anything, no problems, everything's good? Okay. Next hearing is May 13th, and then May 27th, we'll have 2 hearings. And if there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned at 6:22.